Today on Field Trip, we get to meet some real-life heroes.
Our priorities are our life, property, and the environment.
So we take care of people that are sick and injured too. We don't just fight fire.
This pressure here goes below zero, it means we're putting out more water than we're bringing in, which then will implode the pump.
So here we are at Humboldt Bay Fire Station 1 with Amy Segui. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do here and why you chose that career and the types of things someone would need to study if they wanted to do a similar job to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm our community risk reduction specialist. My whole job is minimizing risk. Our priority here at Humboldt Bay Fire is keeping everyone safe, and while we do exist to respond to emergencies, we also exist to help prevent them from happening in the first place. And so part of my job is doing fire inspections where I go into buildings and make sure that they're fire safe. I also do investigations after fires have taken place to try to learn what caused them and how we can prevent them from happening in the future. Additionally, I serve as our public information officer, which just means I get to help everyone in our community know the great things that we're up to. I teach classes, CPR, first aid, all kinds of stuff. So my job is awesome because I get to do so many different things.
Thank you so much for hosting us today on Field Trip and opening the station to us.
Absolutely. Do you want to go meet the crew?
Of course.
All right.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Jody from Field Trip.
Nice to meet you, Captain Matt Dennis, Humboldt Bay Fire.
Wonderful. Tell us a little bit about where we are right now.
We're at Humboldt Bay Fire Station 1, 533 C Street in Eureka. This is basically where all our administration is for Humboldt Bay Fire. It houses the big ladder truck.
Can we go take a look?
Absolutely, follow me right this way.
So Matt, tell us a little bit about the truck.
So this is our ladder truck here. This is 62 feet long and over 70,000 pounds. It has a multitude of ladders on it, and it's basically our tool complement for most of our emergencies. It has a pump on it, it has personnel on it. We can walk around it and I'll show you a lot of the compartments. This ladder truck actually has a pump on it, so we have 200 gallons of water on here, and we have our hoses in here as well. So we can actually, we do a lot of vehicle fires, do a lot of trash can fires, do a lot of debris fires. This right here is all math. So pay attention in school, kids. You need to do math. We have our intake pressure, which is basically the amount of pressure that our hydrants are giving us. We have our discharge pressure, which is what the pumper is going to set and give to a nozzle. So these nozzles here run off 125 PSI. That's pounds per square inch. We throttle up on our throttle here to 125, which is right here. And we are allowed to do that as long as this pressure here does not go below zero. If this pressure here goes below zero, it means we're putting out more water than we're bringing in, which then will implode the pump.
All right, so how high does this thing go?
100 feet, let me show you.
Welcome to Field Trip.
So I'm here with Jared and Dolan. What are we about to go into the station to do?
So we're about to go do a 1-minute drill, and that consists of donning or putting on structure firefighting PPE and also the SCBA, which is a breathing apparatus that you use to have fresh, clean air to breathe.
1 minute drill for you guys, probably a 10-minute drill for me. Let's go try it.
Sounds good.
So before we try any of the gear on, can you tell me a little bit about how it works, how much it weighs?
Yeah, so with all the gear on, it's around 75 pounds. It's rated around 1100 degrees. The jackets and the pants both have multiple layers. There's a moisture barrier and a thermal barrier.
Are you guys ready to teach me how to do this?
It's time to gear up.
All right, ready, set, go. Seconds.
You ready to give it a try?
Sure.
Okay. On your mark, get set, go.
Uh-oh. That is a heavy-duty buckle.
Whoa.
It's gonna be nice and warm in there.
2 hours later.
Whew, that wasn't easy for me. So if you have a call and you're gonna go out, what's the next step after you're all geared up like this?
We'll have our SCBAs on before we hop out of the rig, throw our helmets on, and then get assignments and go to work.
All right, what is the SCBA?
Self-contained breathing apparatus. This basically helps us breathe clean air in dangerous atmospheres.
So looking great, how much does all the gear weigh?
75 pounds.
All right, and how much do you weigh?
195.
And how much do you weigh, Dolan?
About 170.
I wonder how much you guys would weigh in total. This seems like a job for Number Woman.
Thank you, Jody. That's a great question for Humboldt Bay Fire Department. So Firefighter 1 weighs 195 pounds plus 75 pounds of gear is going to be a total of 270 pounds total. But for Firefighter 2 is about 170 pounds plus 75 pounds of gear for a total of 245 pounds. And then we want to find out how much is all of that weight together. So we're just going to go ahead and add straight down. And when we do, 5 plus 0 is 5, 7 plus 4 is 11, carry the 1, 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So together, the two firefighters are carrying around 515 pounds total. Wow. Now, I'm just curious, what percent increase is that weight of the packs over the body weight? So what we can do is we can find out percent increase, and for percent increase, that's the same as the change, which is the weight of the pack and the gear over the original weight of the firefighter. So we can figure out that percent increase. And what we do is for Firefighter 1, the weight of the gear is 75 pounds over the weight of the original firefighter, which is 195 pounds. And on a calculator, that will say 0.38 and some other numbers. But we only need 2 decimal places because percent per penny per hundredth. So what we'll do is we'll move the decimal place twice, and we get that Firefighter 1 has about a 38% increase in their body weight. which is between like 1/3 and 1/2 of their body weight over again for their gear. And then for Firefighter 2, Firefighter 2's pack is the same in gear, which is 75 pounds over the original weight of Firefighter 2, which is 170. And on a calculator, that would say 0.44. Just divide on a calculator, but we only need percent per 100, so we move the decimal place twice again. And we get that the second firefighter is carrying about 44% more of their body weight on their back with their gear, which is even between 1/3 and 1/2 and closer to 1/2 again of their body weight, walking around, fighting fires, climbing ladders. That is so much. Thank you so much, Humboldt Bay Fire. And back to you, Jody.
All right, so this is our classroom here at Station 1, and this is where we teach classes like CPR and first aid. So do you want to learn a little bit about how to perform CPR?
I could always use a brush up on CPR.
Awesome. So before we get started, we want to make sure that we protect ourselves and our patient. So we're going to put on a pair of gloves, and we also have a barrier device to use when we perform our rescue breaths. Safety first. The main components of CPR are chest compressions and rescue breaths. So we're going to place our hands center line of the chest, and we're going to aim to go about 1/3 the depth of our patient's chest when we do our chest compressions. So on these mannequins, you'll hear a click if you go deep enough. Perfect. So what we're doing when we're performing chest compressions, and these lights on the shoulder will help you see if you're going deep enough and if you're going the proper pace. So that red light means that you're not going deep enough to hear that click. Let's try harder. There we go.
Oh yeah, that's pretty hard.
It's pretty hard. And the reason that you have to go so deep is because this person, their heart is not working properly. And so what we're doing when we provide chest compressions is we're actually physically pushing on our patient's heart and pumping it for them. It's pretty amazing. Let's talk about rescue breaths. We need oxygen to live. Our muscles need oxygen to survive, and our brain is one big muscle. So we really want to make sure that as we pump our patient's heart and get that blood circulating throughout their body, that we're giving the blood that good oxygen to deliver to the muscles. So to protect ourselves and our patient, we're going to use our barrier device. This goes right over their face. A one-way valve allows your air to pass through to their lungs. We're going to pinch the nose, tilt the chin up, and then you should be able to see my mannequin get chest rise as his lungs inflate. Yep. Perfect. All right, so that's basically CPR. Just like we practiced on this mannequin, 30 chest compressions followed by 2 rescue breaths over and over again until, well, we show up.
At least we know this woman can perform CPR. Tell us a little bit about where we are today.
So we are at the Chris Kemp Training Center for Humboldt Bay Fire. We're right here along the Hickshari Trail. We have different props here that help simulate different obstacles that the firefighters will face. So we've got props to simulate a roof where they can practice ventilating a roof. We've got our training tower here that we use for all kinds of different scenarios, rescue, hose deployment, all kinds of stuff. And then we also have our burn boxes behind us. And you can kind of smell a little bit. We've got a burn coming today. So this site really gives us an opportunity to develop all those skills that we need on the fire ground, enhance those skills, and today we've got our recruits here working on some of the basics.
Ooh, it's getting hot in here.
What you can see now is the recruits gearing up to enter into a structure fire scenario. They are going en masse. They're opening up their SCBA bottles, otherwise known as their self-contained breathing apparatus. They're gearing up right now. They're making sure that they have water. He's going to open that nozzle. Perfect. Straight stream is exactly what you want. So once they have that water supply at the correct pressure that they want, then they'll move inside the structure, because that's their lifeline. That's their protection, is that water source.
Can they hear each other when they're going into a fire like that?
It's really hard to hear each other. Fire is very loud, and so that's part of what training as a crew together is for, is making sure that you can anticipate each other's needs, anticipate each other's movements, stay connected using a lot of nonverbals, and you train exactly like you want it to go in a real scenario so that you don't have to use a lot of verbal communication. You shouldn't have to. It looks like they just brought out their first victim.
And then that old hose acts as a victim because it's approximately the same weight as an adult?
Yeah, it looks like they took some wood and hose and was able to fill it to a weight that worked for them. I think it's got a bowling ball head. We try to make use of materials we have on hand and recycle what we can.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, refuse.
Exactly. And being in the fire service, you know, our priorities are our life, property, and the environment. And so we care about protecting all three of those things. We know that fire is damaging not only to human health, but pet health, properties, and the environment. And so we are big on sustainability, and we do reduce, reuse, recycle, and refuse whenever we can.
That was cool.
You're watching Field Trip.
All right, so what are we looking at here, Amy?
So this is a rural water supply tank. So what this does is in an environment where we don't have access to a fire hydrant, they'll set this up, and then we have what are called water tenders, and their whole job will be to go and get a water supply. They have really large tanks to hold as much water as possible, and then they'll come back to the scene and dump that water in the tank.
Manually, just carrying it?
It's like a tank attached to the engine, and then it has a big drop trough, and it'll just drop the water right in. The pumping engine that is responsible for fire attack, they'll then take a hard water line and they'll draft water off of this tank. So rather than taking water from a hydrant, they'll take from this tank.
So the engine is able to pull through pumping action and charge lines off of this tank?
Yes. This water goes into the fire attack engine, gets pressurized from the pump, goes through the fire attack line as charged water hose. Something that you want to have practiced and ready ahead of time before there's ever a fire is to know two ways out of your home. So we all know the front door, right? Do you have a back door? Do you have a window? If you are on a second story, do you have a ladder for your window where you could be able to get out of a second floor if you needed to? Knowing two ways out is first and foremost. That way you can evacuate your home and go to your designated meeting place with your family. If you're not able to make it out of your home, the best thing you can do is to go into a room and close the door. If you can put wet clothing or towels at the base of the door to help keep the smoke from entering. If you stay in that room with the door closed, make contact with 911, let them know that you're in the home. We can get ladders to you, we can get personnel to you to make a rescue. I think our crew at Station 5 is expecting us today. We can go through what it looks like to live at Station 5 and what their evacuation plan looks like.
Here we are at Humboldt Bay Fire Station at Redwood Acres. To learn more about station life, let's see if we can find a firefighter to give us a tour.
Hi there.
Hello, I'm Jody from Field Trip. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Trevor Morris, Fire Captain, Humboldt Bay Fire.
Awesome. So we'd love to see more about station life and what it's like to be a firefighter and hang out here and see what you do.
I would love to show you around. So every fire station has a workout room. You can see this is one of the laundered ones right here. We have maps of the different areas that we have to know and cover. So right now, we are right here. This is Redwood Acres Racetrack. And so that is Humboldt Bay Fire right there, Station 5 at Hubbard and Harris. So this is our fire pole. It's a very quick way to get downstairs, and it's really fun too. This is where we spend most of our evenings, etc. It's a very comfortable living space. We have our recliners, our TV, but we also have our cooking facility here. We also have a nice deck, so follow me. We're very lucky where we are at Station 5. We have this parking lot, part of Redwood Acres, that we're able to utilize for our driver's training, our cone course, anything like that. We have a hydrant right there that we can do flowing off of. All right, well, why don't we go inside and we'll go look at the garage and start looking at some of the apparatus. This is Matt Parsons. So, do you have just a second for us?
Yeah, of course.
Would you mind showing us some of the stuff you've got out today?
Yeah, this is our ALS bag. So we take care of people that are sick and injured too. We don't just fight fire. So every day we do a daily check to make sure we have all our medications that we need, all of our equipment. We also have a monitor that will help look at people's heart, and we want to make sure that it works right. We make sure that everything's in line, that we have oxygen, so we can take care of anybody or anything.
Hi.
Hey Jody, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
This is our Type 1 engine right here. This is one we use for pretty much almost every call we have here. This is more of a city-focused engine. We use this to go around town. We do this to go to our structure fires, to our extrications, our medical aids, any of those type of calls. This is our engine we use every day. My focus when I go to a fire is right here. This is the pump. So this is where I figure out how to get our water from the engine to our firefighters who are fighting the fire.
Hey Jody, would you like to see our Type 3 fire engine?
I would love to.
Let me tell you about our Type 3 fire engine. So a Type 3 fire engine is used for wildland. It's a 4x4 unit, and so it can go pretty much anywhere that we need to go. And it's just a really inclusive vehicle that we utilize for our seasonal wildland firefighting or some of our areas that are a little more rustic to get to. You'll notice this is different than our Type 1 fire engine. It's shorter, it's squat, it doesn't have a lot of storage capacities, but it still carries hose, it still carries water, it has a pump, it has extrication equipment on it, it has everything that we need when we go out into that wildland urban interface to fight fire or do rescues. This is one of my more favorite toys. Actually, boys and girls, this is not a toy. This is called a drip torch. And so when we go to wildland fires, a lot of times to save places, we actually put down fire on the ground and let it cut off the fuels to what we're trying to protect. So on this rig, it's going to be a little different than our Type 1 rig, but we carry different things. So we have what's called wildland tools, a really unique tool right here called a rhino. It's basically a bent over shovel with a razor sharp edge that we can cut fire line. We have a standard flathead axe. So this is actually the tool that is my favorite. It's called a Pulaski. So you'll see it has a sharp edge, standard axe on one end, and then it has the grubbing tool on the other. It's a very versatile tool, and it's a very important tool when you're out in the wildland. The last one is a McLeod. This is another very useful tool. You can see one side is like a rake. We can pull different debris with it. You can move fire with it. So if you have a little bit of fire and you want to spread it out or whatever, it's a very versatile tool. And if you flip it over, you'll notice that edge, and when it's all fresh and clean, will be razor sharp. See how you can stand up with it? Well, why don't you try that out? Different applications, different vegetation types, all require different equipment. This is what we call a hose pack. So when we go out and we're doing a hose lay down in the wildland influence areas or the wildland, we're gonna take two 1.5 inch wildland, they're 100 feet each. And if you can believe this is all synthetic and it's the lightweight version. Would you like to try it on?
Yes, absolutely. Let's see here.
This one pack right here
It's pretty
weighs
heavy.
about 50 plus pounds. And that's the lightweight version. So you can see when you're out there and you're hiking up in the forest, you're gonna have your heavy boots on, you're gonna have your hose pack on, you're gonna have a tool. Can I give you a tool?
Sure.
When we're going up, it's not uncommon to have probably 70, 80 pounds on our backs when we go hiking up these hills. So you can only imagine how good a shape we need to be in. And that's one of the reasons that we have to work out.
103, 104, 200. When you get a call, how do you make the decision I'm imagining split-second decision-making which truck to take?
So it's really not a split-second decision. We are primarily always going to be on our type 1, and the reason for that is that's what our calls are. We go to medical aids, we go to structure fires, we go to vehicle accidents, we go to hazmat calls, we go to environmental issues. So there's a lot of different things that we are going to go to, and that's why that rig is really set up for what we do. This rig, being a wildland rig, is capable of doing most things, but it's not designed for that daily use. It's really designed to go up in the hills and do what this one can't. This one being 4-wheel drive and that high center of gravity, it can go places that the Type 1 could never go. This rig actually is a great resource for the state. We contract with CAL FIRE, and we have gone everywhere from almost to the San Diego border to Nevada, and we've gone on strike teams over the years, and it's been super helpful to have the proper equipment and to be able to work with CAL FIRE.
Thank you, Trevor, so much for giving us a tour of your wildland truck.
Oh, Jody, I can't thank you enough for coming out. This has been a great opportunity for us to share Humboldt Bay Fire and just to meet with the public. Anytime you want to come back, come on down.
Thank you for the work you do in our community.
Well, thank you so much.
This is warm.
It depends on what you keep in your pockets, but...
Just a minute.
This here isn't...
I guess at least this woman can do CPR. Well, at least we know this woman can and can.
Womana can.
Womana can. Well, at least we know this woman can and can. Well, at least we know this womana can. I just can't.